That was just a quick playthrough of the Epiphone Tony Iommi SG. I literally just got this thing not even like an hour ago, and I haven't had any time to really get really comfortable with it yet because it has a different neck shape that I'm used to. It's not like a standard D or a standard C. Somewhere in the middle, some trying to get used to it. It has super broad shoulders, but like a very flat neck. I think they call it an Iommi C or an Iommi D. I can't remember what the website said or the Epiphone site, but I did get this from woodwindandbrasswind.com. Now, I'm not a plug, you know, but that's just where I got it from. And so far, it plays okay. It doesn't play like $1,000 guitar. I mean, I would think for the price, they would probably have set it up a bit more. But I know Sweetwater does that. I wish I got it from there. But yeah, for the price, I would think there would be a few things that would have been checked over. For example, there was a lot of just like random pieces of glue just like all over the body that I had to get a rag and just like wipe off. I was like, that's random. And second, like the actual fretboard itself, if you can hear, super scratchy. I mean, I don't know if you can hear that. It's super dry and scratchy, so I had to take a little bit of oil and just rub it on top of the while the strings are still on. I know it's not a good idea, but I just wanted to play and see if I can get some of the oil on the board. And usually it works for a little bit, and this thing just didn't work out. It was still super scratchy, still super dry. And the strings on these are super cheap for $1,000. Like, come on, man. Why are you giving me freaking $2 strings on these things? Like, these are like strings you find on like some cheap, like, I don't know, man, like Chipson or something. Even Chipson's probably have better strings than these, but like on a super cheap, like Squire guitar or like an entry level Epiphone, this is $1,000 guitar for a signature player like Tony freaking Iommi, and they got these cheap ass strings on here, and it just like makes no sense for $1,000. And the other thing is the pickups. They sound okay. I don't know. There's not a lot of clarity when playing on the higher. Like on the higher, oh wait, you can, oh, that scratchiness is disgusting. But there's not a lot of clarity on the high end. I've noticed there's a lot of more on the lower end, lower to mid ends on this these pickups. I don't know if it's just for me. If there's something this I'm noticing with the set I have, but that's just what I'm getting from my side. And it would be nice for $1,000 since it is Tony Iommi. They would throw in some Gibson USA pickups. Like no one's asking for the Superflux pickups. Like we're not asking for that. We're just asking for some Gibson P90 Pro pickups. Because the Epiphone ones they sound good for $1,000. I mean, like it's not that bad. I mean, it's not that hard to do because you can find aftermarket P90s that sound better than this for like 30, $40 a piece from different manufacturers online. And it's crazy to me that they couldn't do it for Tony Iommi's own guitar because a lot of the other signature guitars they have EMG pickups, they have Gibson USA pickups, they have Fishman Fluence pickups. So it's not like they can't do it because all their other artists have them, but for some reason this one doesn't. And it's funny because the 1961 SG that they have on their website has Gibson USA pickups for the same price. Only difference is it doesn't have Tony Iommi's name on it. And I'll be honest, that other one plays a lot better than this one does. Way better. I didn't have any issues with a scratchy, dry fretboard. I didn't have any issues with just random pieces of glue laying about. And it honestly just plays a lot better. I mean, the thing is, I did set it up myself. I'll be honest, but I do remember when I got it, it played pretty well, but obviously I wanted to style it within my own play style. But this out of the box, it was just super dry fretboard. It seemed like the strings just had no give. Like it felt like I couldn't bend at all until I started really getting into it. Like I had to I couldn't even bend anything. Like it felt like these strings just were not willing to bend, which is funny because Tony Iommi was known for playing a super, super, super light gauge strings on his guitar. And it seemed like they really did not do anything to attempt any of the things that he did to modify his SG to play his needs. And like he had the lacquered fretboard, he had the 0 fret, he had. I mean, they got this thing right, the the strap hook. That's awesome. It's not like we can do it. It's not like we can't do it ourselves, but they got that right, at least. But yeah, they didn't do any of the things that he did. Like I mentioned, like the lacquered fretboard, the freaking 0 fret, the whatchamacallit, sorry, the custom pickups, the string gauges. They didn't do any of that. It's literally just an SG from that era that they just slapped Tony Iommi's name on. They're like, yes, that's his guitar. I mean, the pickguard is different, so that's good. It's not like you couldn't do it yourself either. So a lot of the stuff on this guitar, what I'm trying to say is, you could probably do yourself by getting the 61 SG, because you can find that thing on like eBay, Guitar Center, literally anywhere, used for like $600 nowadays, which is crazy because that was $1,000 guitar when that also came out. So clearly the resale value on those, I think Epiphone is probably should have learned that the resale value on their guitars at that price range is not very good, because when people are spending that much money, they would rather get like a Gibson USA guitar, or just like a tribute or like a used Les Paul for like a 15 to $1,800 or something like that. I'm sorry, not a Les Paul, or like an SG, because you could find used SGs for $1,800. Because if you're willing to spend $1,000, there's a good chance you may be in the market to spend another $800, $1,000 even. There's a reason why the 800, 900 plus market is considerably way different than the below the $700 market, which I think they goofed on with this because they didn't do enough to separate it from their other guitars they have in their lineup, their own SGs that they have in their lineup, like the Epiphone P90 Special that they have right now with the sparkling burgundy red. I don't like the finish on that, but it is essentially the same guitar as this. Like, no ifs, ands about. And I'll be honest, I think that one had a better bridge than this one. I know this is supposed to be the custom bridge, and it's been alright. I mean, I haven't had any complaints. I probably have to intonate it and get all these things set up first before I can make my final judgment. But I will say they did miss out on a big opportunity to do something special, no pun intended, with the guitar, for sure.